Attention passionate Seattle, SEAHAWKS fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle, SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news alright, Seahawks fans, buckle up, because today we have some surprising, and frankly a bit shocking, news coming out of the NFL and our beloved team. It's a story that's been unfolding quickly over the past few days, and it's got a lot of implications for the upcoming season. You see, in the final days of NFL roster cutdowns, where teams are making those tough decisions, sometimes you see surprises, players who seemed like they were staples, suddenly gone. And one of those surprises this year was the release of veteran wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling by the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Valdes-Scantling, as many of you know, signed with the Seahawks back in March, a one-year deal worth about $5 million. It looked like a solid move at the time, bringing in a guy with proven downfield speed and the ability to stretch defenses. And let's be honest, he was expected to be a key piece in our passing game, especially given his ability to create big plays down the field. Valdes-Scantling had his most productive season with the Kansas City Chiefs, where he was part of that Super Bowl-winning squad, but his best individual season actually came earlier, during his time with the Green Bay Packers. Back in 2020, he put up some impressive numbers: 33 receptions, nearly 690 yards, 6 touchdowns, and an average of over 20 yards per catch. That's the kind of production you want from a deep threat, someone who can change the dynamics of a game with one catch. When he joined the Seahawks, expectations were high. He was brought in primarily to serve as that field stretcher, someone who could pull safeties back and open up space underneath for our other weapons. But in a turn that no one saw coming, Seattle decided to release Valdes-Scantling before the start of the season. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Just hours after his release, Valdes-Scantling found a new home with the San Francisco 49ers, our division rivals. That's right, folks, the team that's been battling us in the NFC West, that's been trying to dethrone us, now has a player who was once expected to bolster our receiving core. Move surprised many because, frankly, Valdes-Scantling himself didn't see it coming. He was under the impression that his relationship with Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak played a significant role in his signing. Kubiak, who was with the New Orleans Saints last season, had a successful connection with Valdes-Scantling, who started 8 games with the Saints and managed to compile 17 catches for 385 yards and 4 touchdowns, averaging an impressive 22.6 yards per reception. Valdes-Scantling spoke openly about this relationship in an interview with Matt Barrows of The Athletic. He mentioned that he believed his chemistry with Kubiak was a key factor in his signing, and he was under the impression that they would continue their partnership in Seattle. So, naturally, when he was cut, it was a shock for him. It's always tough, especially when you've been working hard in training camp, trying to earn your spot and contribute to the team. But sometimes, roster decisions are made based on a multitude of factors, including scheme fit, special teams contributions, or even the team's overall direction. Now, for Valdes-Scantling, this move opens up a new chapter. He had options, and after being released, he had the choice between the San Francisco 49ers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And interestingly, the choice came down to his connection with quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who, as many of you know, is now with the Jets. But during Valdes-Scantling's time with the Packers, Rodgers was his primary quarterback. Valdes-Scantling explained that the relationship with Rodgers played a significant role in his decision to join the 49ers. He told NBC Sports Bay Area and California that it was between here and Pittsburgh, and that Rodgers wanted him back in San Francisco. He said, "It was a toss-up, 50-50. I had to weigh my options and see which one was going to be better for my career at this point, and I was excited about it." That's a pretty telling statement. He's looking for opportunities to showcase his talent, especially with injuries hitting the 49ers receiver room hard. Right now, the 49ers are dealing with some significant injuries at the wide receiver position. Brandon Ayuk, who's been one of their top targets, is expected to miss the early part of the season as he recovers from a torn ACL. Joan Jennings, another key player, is battling a calf injury and is also working towards a new contract. So Valdes-Scantling's arrival in San Francisco couldn't come at a better time for him and for the Niners, who need all the depth they can get. For Seattle, it's a tough pill to swallow, especially since he was expected to be part of our offense this season. But it's also a reminder of how quickly things can change in the NFL, how the final roster decisions are often a game of chess, and how the division rivalries keep intensifying. Now, let's talk a little about what this means for our Seahawks. The team has been making some strategic moves during the offseason, trying to bolster the roster for another push towards the playoffs and ultimately another Super Bowl appearance. We've seen some promising developments on the offensive line, improvements in the defense, and a lot of focus on developing our young talent. But this move involving Valdes-Scantling underscores how competitive the NFC West truly is. Our rivals are not standing still, they're making moves, bringing in players who can make an immediate impact and trying to outsmart us on the depth chart. The Seahawks will have to adjust now, possibly looking more into the draft or free agency to find that extra piece that can step up. It's also a reminder for us fans that the NFL is a league of constant change. You think you've seen everything, but then a surprise like this comes out of nowhere, shaking up the landscape. It also highlights the importance of chemistry and relationships within the team. Valdes-Scantling's case shows us how player-coach relationships can influence roster decisions, and how a player's fit within a team's scheme can determine their future. As we look ahead to the season, there's a lot to be optimistic about. Our Seahawks have a talented roster, and despite losing Valdes-Scantling, there are still plenty of weapons and promising players ready to step up. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett continue to be our top targets on offense, and our young quarterback is gaining confidence with every practice. The defense is looking solid, and the coaching staff is working tirelessly to put everyone in the best position to succeed. But it's clear that the NFC West remains one of the most competitive divisions in the league, with teams like the 49ers, Rams, and Cardinals all fighting for supremacy. So, Seahawks fans, what do you think about this move? Are you surprised that Valdes-Scantling was released? And what do you expect from him now that he's with the 49ers? Do you think his presence will make a big impact on that division rival? And how do you see our team responding to all these changes? Your opinions matter so much, and I want to hear what you think in the comments below. We're all in this together, and it's these discussions that make our Seahawks community so special. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and insider news, so make sure to stay tuned and keep supporting this channel. Your passion fuels everything we do, and together we can keep growing this family of Seahawks fans. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seattle Seahawks. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news.